I work with people that are the most successful and they run from their shit. So here's what I'm going to tell you. It's going to catch up with you. So if you know you're busying yourself and you are functioning at such a great height, you're going to crash, my friend. So if you come from a broken home, toxic shit, you have addiction issues, you love to shop, you're a gambler, you take too much Adderall, you literally cannot sit still on your couch. Yes, you know who I'm talking about. And then you keep going and going, name it. It's gonna catch up.
Shh. Welcome to the Secret Life Podcast. Tell me your secret. I'll tell you mine. Sometimes you have to go through the darkness to reach the light. That's what I did. After 12 years of recovery in sex and love addiction, I finally found my soulmate, myself. Please join me in my novel, Secret Life of a Hollywood Sex and Love Addict, a 4-time bestseller on Amazon. It's a brutal, honest, raw, gnarly ride, but hilarious at the same time. Check it out now on Amazon. Welcome to Secret Life Podcast. I'm Briannne Davis-Gantt. Today, I'm pulling back the curtains of all kinds of human secrets. We'll hear about what people are hiding from themselves or others. You know those deep, dark secrets you probably want to take to your grave? Or those lighter, funnier secrets that are just plain embarrassing? Join me each week as we take a deep dive into one subject matter, exploring the how, what, when, where, and why of it all. Get ready for a more focused, more revealing journey of the human experience. This is Secret Life, and I'm excited for you to join the ride. Today, we are talking about, the high cost of high-functioning trauma. Burnout as the badge of unhealed parts. Yep, we are talking about high-functioning trauma, high-functioning PTSD. Now, I'm so glad that we picked this subject because I think a lot of people have high-functioning PTSD. They have trauma, but on the outside, they look very, very, very successful. And what this is like people that have major trauma, but they don't want to look at their trauma. So they push it down. They push it down, and there's this huge hidden cost that later it boils up. So I deal with a lot of really successful older people that have everything you can ever imagine, and they're miserable, and all their trauma from childhood is bubbling up. And yeah, that's high-functioning PTSD. So if you know someone that is a business owner that looks like they are about to have a nervous breakdown, they probably have high-functioning PTSD. Or 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds that you are like, what is going on with them? They look like they're about to lose it. That they probably have high-functioning PTSD. Because here's the thing, when you have childhood trauma and you just keep going about and busying your day and doing all this shit, where do you think that trauma goes? Do you think it magically flows out into the ether and just goes away? Your childhood trauma, that abandonment, that neglect as a child, your parents not listening to you, you're not allowed to have a feeling, you just smiling through it all. No. That goes in your body, literally trapped in your body. I mean, I even had a thing that just happened on my birthday that I was physically neglected at times in my childhood, left alone in a house. And when I was by myself over my birthday, it got trapped. It came out of my body. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to die. And I realized in high school, I was left alone a lot. And that's neglect. That's childhood neglect in a household by yourself at the age of 14 with no one there, sleeping. That's terrifying. And I had that experience in the desert, and I was like, oh my God, the trauma's coming out of my body, literally coming out of my pores. I thought I was dying in the desert. And it was like the little girl terrified of sleeping alone in this house by herself from freshman year of high school to senior year of high school. Nobody there. Terrifying for a teenager to be sleeping by herself in a house alone. And I just experienced it in my 40s. That's crazy. So what I'm trying to say is most people be like, oh, that is neglect.
That is physical neglect. And I did not realize how damaging that I cannot sleep alone in a house. I'm terrified, utterly terrified, and that's been trapped in my body. So why I'm sharing that is because I'm a high functioning person. That's high functioning PTSD that I have probably been carrying around. And I look at my shit. I've been looking at it 15 plus years. So I didn't realize that was trapped. So I'm using this as an example that I am well aware of my issues, work on my addictions, but I work with people that are the most successful and they run from their shit. So here's what I'm going to tell you. It's going to catch up with you. So if you know you're busying yourself and you are functioning at such a great height, you're going to crash, my friend. So if you come from a broken home, toxic shit, you have addiction issues, you love to shop, you're a gambler, you take too much Adderall, you literally cannot sit still on your couch. Yes, you know who I'm talking about. And then you keep going and going, name it, it's gonna catch up. So here is what it is. High functioning PTSD or HF PTSD can be significant and it's a high cost. Despite individuals appearing outwardly successful, these costs can manifest in emotional and relationship difficulties, as well as impacting overall well-being and leading to mental health challenges like depression, anxiety, and substance misuse. Individuals, they excel at work in other areas, but that underlying trauma can affect their ability to relax, enjoy life, and form healthy relationships. Yes. So here's the thing. On the outside, appearances can be deceiving. That's what they say. Appearances can be deceiving. Everything looks perfectly okay on the surface, but they often are just coping with these effects of trauma. They just block out memories. There's a lot of blocked out memories. So a lot of my clients, I ask, hey, what about your childhood? And they go, I don't remember. They have no idea. They have blackout memories. They avoid triggers. So they purposely don't know. I don't want to talk about that. That triggers me. They legit will not talk about things. They strive for perfectionism, which they have a constant state of being on edge and they cannot relax. Relationship difficulties. They literally move from usually relationship to relationship, and they struggle with intimacy, trust, and emotional regulation. So they cannot regulate their emotions. They do not want to feel. So they turn into avoiders. Emotional and mental health. They have depression, anxiety, and difficult maintaining emotions. So a lot of them usually are on some kind of antidepressants or Adderall or Vyvanse or those lovely drugs that are overprescribed a lot. Impact on well-being. They constantly struggle with trauma. It takes a toll on their well-being. Like they have a really low sense of self-worth. Even if they have everything, there's a part of them that feels like they don't deserve it, so they can never relax and just enjoy. The main thing is that they need help. But I want to go first with what you see. What you see is they're very detail-oriented. They try to be detail-oriented, but what they are overthinkers. They are outgoing, but they're people pleasers. They're very active, but actually it's an inability to slow down. What you see is they're super helpful, but what really they are is trouble saying no. What you see is they're hardworking, but really it is failure, a fear of failure. What you see is performance. Well, they overperform, but really they procrastinate and they overplan. And then lastly, what you see is they're loyal, but really they have poor boundaries. And it also looks, like I said, always busy, extreme emotional reactions to things. They get startled easy. They have difficult sleeping. They're hyper alert and anxious, and they have trouble keeping plans. Very, very hard keeping plans. So, and this is another thing. These are some weird issues that high functioning PTSD, they have problems eating, like they have trouble eating properly sometimes or forgetting meals, but then they also have insomnia, digestive issues. If they cancel plans, they feel overwhelmed about it. And that also stems to them thinking they're not doing it perfectly. And then they get really hard on themselves. But if you pull back, they look like they have a normal functioning, daily functioning life. And in society's terms, everything looks great. They're actually like a secret superhero identity because on the surface, they look like ordinary people that do everything great. Their business is going great. They look like but deep down, there's some heavy weight of traumatic issues. Yeah. So I feel like if we look around the world right now, there is a bunch of people dodging their trauma and they are high functioning PTSD, and myself included. I probably was. So what people think PTSD is, not able to move forward not able to move forward after a traumatic event. But in reality, it's a bunch of flashbacks, nightmares, intrusive thoughts, anxiety, depression, like I said, sleep problems, social withdrawal, memory problems, triggers, like I already said, panic attacks sometimes, loss of interest of things that you used to got enjoyment about, you don't anymore. There's some anger and guilt, self-blame. Then if it gets really intense, like it does later down the line, suicidal thoughts, substance abuse, and difficult trusting people. So let's even go in, how do you help these things? So if you start getting physical problems, this is the first big warning sign. So if you start having really bad insomnia or sleeping problems, this is a big look, something's going on. So nightmares, that's your subconscious trying to get deeper into your brain, trying to work things out. So that is your first thing. Then if physical symptoms start, heart rate, sweating, difficult breathing, obviously, and you have trouble staying focused, being aware, and then eye twitching, things start happening to your body, it is your body telling you something is off. And usually that is your body screaming for you to do some physical, emotional work. That's how I see it. Other people disagree, but I think our body tells us what's actually going on. If there is something going on physically, that means something mentally is off. Then, if a negative emotional comes on strongly, like if something hits you strongly that shouldn't, if it's hysterical, it's historical. That means that something is hit, something is going on. Trauma needs to be dealt with. So whenever I say there's a big reaction to something, hysterical, historical, gotta deal, gotta look, gotta go deeper. Then I look at flashbacks. If you all of a sudden start having a memory that hits you, that could be high functioning PTSD showing its head. Like, whoa, I don't remember that. That just happened. A childhood memory just came back, or this happened. Or you see something and it reminds you of something. That is telling you you need to go talk to somebody because something is going on. And then the next thing I always have people look at is those overachieving tendencies don't have the same hit anymore. You don't have the same drive. So all that stuff that used to drive you isn't driving you anymore. You don't get as excited. And those busy day things you used to do aren't really pushing you forward in the same movement that it once was. Lastly, here it is. You don't want to connect in the superficial people-pleasing ways that you used to. I never had that part, but a lot of high-functioning PTSD people do. They just want to keep going and going and going. When you feel like even those little superficial things that you used to do, even with people, don't have that same oomph, that is telling you, I need to stop. That hyper-vigilant connection or attachment isn't working anymore. Something is off. I'm about to hit a rock bottom. My body's giving out. The things that used to drive me don't work anymore. I don't find joy in the old things. Memories are coming back. I need to go get help. Exhaustion sets in. Things are going on. I need to get help. Because if you don't, you will probably have a nervous breakdown. So before that happens, go get help, go talk to somebody, immediately. That is the number one thing I always tell people. So if any of this rings true, if any of these signs are happening for you, I am begging you, go talk to somebody, because the moment you start talking and getting it off of you, you will start feeling better, because these things are not going to run away. I mean, they are not going to go away. You cannot run from it anymore. So I'm asking you, before the burnout happens and you wear the badge of unhealed parts that is going to catch up with you, go talk to somebody. You don't want to hit rock bottom. It ain't fun. So go heal your trauma. You can't run from it forever. No money, no title, no huge place on the mountaintop is going to get you healed from your inner child work. You got to do that yourself. Welcome to the club is all I can say. It's the best club you never wanted to be a part of. Thank you for listening to Secret Life Podcast. I hoped it helped. I hope anything, if it rang true to you, like I said, go get some help. It's okay. It's like talking. What I say is therapy is like a massage for your soul. And your soul needs massaging just like your back, just like your neck, just like your feet. Your soul needs a bigger massage because it's been neglected, because you've been pushing that shit down. Let me know your thoughts. Send them my way. Topics. Send them to secretlifepodcast@icloud.com. Until next time.
Thanks again for listening to the show. Please subscribe, rate, share, or send me a note at secretlifepodcast.com. And if you'd like to check out my book, head over to secretlifenovel.com or Amazon to pick up a copy for yourself or someone you love. Thanks again. See you soon.